Coming to the green flag for round number 20 of the 2023 FBRL Hardee's National Series season. Griffin, Lapo, McDermott on pole position in between the top two in the championship. Green flag in the air here in Milwaukee. Griffin, Lapo, McDermott clears the 14 through turns 1 and 2 as Corey Williams, he'll be looking to try and dive to the inside to clear himself in front of the 51. Not a surprising move from the 14. This outside is not exactly the best here at the Milwaukee Mile, but Corey Williams now on the outside trying to get to the quarter pound, the 62, and try to ride around him on the outside. Here on the opening couple of laps here. If your car is good enough, you can run competitive on the outside, but making the pass, that's going to be a lot to ask here. Griffin on the bottom here, trying to hold this lead against the 14. This 14 has been arguably the best team on intermediates this year. And here comes Vargas now up the inside of the 14 here. This is a 10-point swing between second and third. So Vargas up the inside of the 14, trying to take advantage here. I think Corey maybe got a little bit too bold, trying to make the pass on the outside. It's allowed Vargas to swing in and put himself in contention here alongside him very early in the running. Here's Jake Baskinger, the number 97, racing here in the Hardee's National Series. With the way the part-time rules are set up and the specific, well, at least the rules specific to Sony Cup Series have worked, Jake Baskinger was not able to run some scheduled Sony Cup races to end the year. So, Turn Performance Racing, they've called him aboard to come drive this 97 to close out the year to help get this Hardee's program in a much better spot here. They had Turner drive the last 2 weeks, and they're going to have Baskinger for the rest of the year. And you can see he's already making a really big difference here, running up inside the top 5. Trying to see if he can find a way to third here, as this is the battle for third. Bradley Bishop Jr. all over the 14. The Drivers' Championship right now is between Vargas and Corey. But there's another title in the mix here, and that is the owner's title. And these are the two battling for it. The 14 for Curtis Racing and the 11 for Joseph Srigley Racing. So the 11 really wants to beat this 14 tonight. Corey, poor Corey, he's got multiple people that really have a big mission to make sure that they beat him tonight. And they're not going to give him the easiest night in the world, that's for damn sure. Good start to the night for Major Robinson, this number 81. Robinson, who will be driving this car full-time next year in the Hardee's National Series. Same team. And he's been showing some improvement here in this 81 as the year has gone on. As I say that, he's being hounded by Richard Johnson and Nick Breeding. But Robinson did a really good job. He had a good qualifying effort, and he's looking pretty solid tonight. And they're hoping to see if they can follow up what has been a good string of races for Sanders Performance Autosport. 2 top 5s back-to-back over these past couple of weeks. Christian Vargas has caught the 62 Griffin. GLM managed to get away for a little bit, but Vargas has reeled him in. Passing here is not easy, so we'll see how hard of a fight Griffin puts up here. You can see Vargas, he is really good on the corner entry and the mid-corner, but Griffin just gets a little bit of a better exit. So you can tell Vargas, he's being very aggressive here on entry, trying to get underneath the 62, but Griffin's doing a good job just running nice consistent laps here, and it's going to have to force Vargas to be a little bit more aggressive to get by. Vargas just keeps inching closer and closer to the 62. But man, he just can't find a hole. And you can see that 62 is just really good on corner exit, man. He is just driving off so well, and Vargas just can't really do much about it. And that's allowed Bradley Bishop Jr. to now catch up to Vargas here. And Bishop gets a run. Vargas got a little bit tight off of turn 4. Bradley does not take advantage of it, though. He sticks behind the 51. Right now, the 11 is the fastest car on the track based on the lap times that we're seeing. So we'll see if Bradley can work his way through here. He's all over this 51. Wonder if Vargas maybe pushed the tires a little bit too hard here early, because he does not seem to be running the 62 back down again. And now Vargas holding up the 11 is now helping the 14 now get back into the mix. And that's the last thing the 51 wants here. It's getting quite dicey in the mid-pack here. Here's Adam Verlaine in the 72. Going by the 81, who is dropping rapidly through the field right now. Robinson was in the top 10. He's almost fallen outside the top 20. Seems to me that this 81 car, they've got a short run car, because this is not going well at the moment. Ab in the 72 now, he climbs his way up into 18th. Rodriguez just up ahead. With the strong runs that we have seen from Goforth and GLM this year, it's been kind of Adam Verlaine, who hasn't really been able to have those same performances as his teammates. Granted, part of it was Adam mainly got this ride thanks to a strong effort driving a Spartan car in Kentucky way earlier in the year. But so far, he's still trying to work things out in the 72. But this has been one of the better runs they've had this year, as he runs in 18th. He'll be back with this team next year as he continues his development. We got a 4-car battle for the lead here. It's the Griffin Lapo McDermott is leading this group of title contenders from both driver and car. And I can't imagine what the driver of the 62 must be thinking right now, because there's 2 championship battles happening behind him. You got a driver's championship and an owner's points championship happening right in his mirror, and he's the guppy in the situation here. A guppy, a black sheep, whatever you want to call it. But man, you can see the 11, he's getting a little bit antsy here. He can feel the pressure of the 14 coming up on him. And this battle is just helping Griffin keep the lead here. To be perfectly honest, I think he's the 4th fastest person in this pack, but he's the one with the track position. And here comes Bradley underneath for 2nd place. Can he get under Vargas here and complete the pass? The 14 of Corey Williams sits behind. He dives up to the top as well. Really good battle for 2nd here. Vargas fighting back on the outside. Still side by side through the corner. They've been side by side for a full lap here. And I think the 11, I think he should be able to win this battle here. Meanwhile, Corey in the 14, he needs to take advantage of this. If he can get underneath Vargas here for 3rd. He gets underneath him. Corey drives through turns 2, tries to punch it off the corner to keep the 51 next to him. But I think Vargas should be able to pack it down low. And he does. Vargas loses the spot there, but he at least keeps himself in front of the 14. But this is what was a 10 to 20 point takeaway for him is now only a 1 point takeaway, and he's going to need more than that. Dunlap in the 42 qualified for his first race in almost 10 races this weekend, and he's doing a really good job. Currently running in the top 15 and 14, trying to hold off the 69 of Sebastian Kukulon. LaPrad's only going to have a handful of attempts left for this team, and we're not quite sure what his future is going to be after what has been such a disastrous second half of the year for this 42 squad. Texas Motorsports is leaving the series, so LaPrade will be rideless. And he's trying to prove himself to somebody out there that he's still worth a shot, but that's his choice if he comes back or not at this rate. Kukulon's all over him though. Kukulon had a really good start to the night, but slowly falling outside the top 10. Kev Shear, Jeff James, 2 surprises still outside the top 10, although they are working their way forward. At the moment, Shea Bianca Racing has all the cars in the top 11. And you can see the battle here. Ellison now, he's holding up the 92, the 8, the 10, and the 9. When it's so hard to pass, it kind of creates these snake packs. And here comes Rich underneath the 8 car. Butcher trying to hold off the 10. But Richard throws it into the corner. Goes underneath the 8 car here. Butcher fighting back hard on the outside. Richard gets the good drive off the corner here. Some really good battles here throughout this top 10 at the moment. Nick Bree now sticking his nose in there. Now gets to the quarter panel of the 10. Butcher is not letting this 10 car go. He is going to fight him to the death here. He's going to make Richard work for this one. Richard, he gets diamonds to the corner a little bit. Gets the good route the corner. Should be able to clear the 8. But Butcher keeps his foot on the quarter panel on his outside. And that's going to open the door for Breeding. As Breeding now slots in underneath the 8 car. Back over at the lead. Griffin, still your leader. 32 laps led tonight. The most laps he's ever led in a race before. And he's putting on an absolute barn burner right now, trying to hold off 3 of the best in FBRL here. 3 of the best in the Hardee series. Oh, Bradley threw it into the corner hard, but Griffin did not fold. He kept his foot on the inside, and Bishop's gonna have to get really pushy here because Vargas couldn't make a move. So Bradley Bishop Jr., if he's gonna want to pass the 62, he's gonna have to maybe force the issue here, or just hope that eventually Griffin makes a mistake. This battle continues here. Vargas has now caught the back of the 11 again. The 14 is now trying to make a run here. Bradley gets a good run off of turn 2. Will he take the maneuver? He does. He throws it at the last second and throws it underneath the 62. Into the 14 now gets underneath the 51. That was a good move by Bradley. Last second, forced the 62 to run the middle and got his way past. Very aggressive, but that may have been what he had to do because Griffin, he looked ice cold up in that lead. It took a drastic move to take it from him. And now Griffin's now going to fall into second place here. Corey now gets underneath the 51. He's going to try to clear his championship rival here off of turn 4, and he does. This battle has allowed the 93 of James Ellison now to get inside the mix here. As we're coming up on our first stops of the night. 2 stops will be needed. We're expecting pit stops at around lap 40 as Corey throws it underneath the 62. Copied a similar move from Bradley Bishop Jr. and that's going to work. So Corey's going to come up here and take second place here, as I think the 62 is starting to run out of juice here as the run goes on, and he's now going to get walloped here as the 51 and 93 are going to stick their nose underneath them and keep him up there. Ludwig Charette in the 23. He will be the first car to come to pit road, so this is an undercut attempt if I've ever seen one. He's taking his 4 tires and he comes back out onto the racetrack here, so this is the start of the pit cycle. Battle for 9th here. Basking are trying to hold off Butcher, Kev Shear, and Jeff James, so Shear makes a move underneath the 8, and here comes Jeff James with a dive up the inside. They're 3 wide. Oh, Shear was making a move. Jeff James made one himself, and they're 3 wide here in Milwaukee. Oh boy, this is a battle here, and they're pinching the heck out of each other. Butcher is stuck on the top as Shear and Jeff James race off at turn 2, and Shear comes up and turns the 4 up into the wall, into Ryan Butcher, and that's going to bring the caution out. And several cars come to pit road. Bradley Bishop Jr., Corey Williams, and Griffin Latham McDermott dive to pit road as the caution came out. Oh boy. A 3 wide wreck here between Shear and Butcher and Jeff James. And from the angle we saw, it looked like Shear just turned the 4, but they were 3 wide. But this was interesting here because the 11, 14, 62, they dove to pit road, so if they can stay on the lead lap, they should be able to wave back around to the lead as Vargas, Goforth, and several others come to pit road. That was a late dive to pit road when the caution came out, and it may work out for them. Corey actually came out in front of the 11, so the 14 beat the 11 off of pit road. The 14 came in behind the 11. Let's watch this again here. They're racing 3 wide, and you can see they are squeezing each other all over each other on the straightaway here. And then this is where this is going to take a turn for the worse. Jeff James. Ooh, not sure about that one. It looked like Jeff James was going straight, and Shear might have come down. Shear may have been trying to give his teammate Ryan Butcher room off the corner and may have misjudged where the 4 car was. So let's see what happens here on pit road. So these 3 came to pit road, and remember the 14 came in behind the 11. And this will be the race off at pit road. The 11 is a bit further back, but that shouldn't really matter from this vantage point. And Corey, he just comes out, and that was just a better stop. We've seen some I mean, this isn't the first time either. We've seen Curtis cars jump Srigley cars on pit road before, but this will be for the lead. So Bradley Bishop Jr., he's got to be frustrated here. All that work for the lead, and Corey Williams just took it on pit road. Ludwig Charette will take the wave round here in the number 23. Since he is technically on the lead lap, he is not the lucky dog, so he's just getting a wave around. So that decision to pit early did not work out. But this is quite a change here. Corey Williams has now suddenly taken the lead of this race after a dynamite pit stop from the 14 team. And that was the last thing Christian Vargas, I think, wanted to see. I mean, that was a bold decision to dive to pit road like that, and it was the right call because they didn't go a lap down. They didn't get trapped behind other cars. So Corey Williams takes the lead. Bradley Bishop Jr. second place here. The owner's point title between these 2 cars. Griffin Lapo McDermott, he was in danger of falling outside the top 5, but that decision to pit has kept him in the top 3. So A very smart call from Single Z Racing to keep him in the podium mix here. Vargas 4th. Now going to have some work to do here. James Ellison, the 93. We haven't really gotten a chance to see him up here in the mix yet. He caught up to the back of the field, but didn't really get to battle. Baskinger up to 6th. Richard Johnson has fallen down to 7th, so I think all the JSR cars just had a really rough pit cycle there. Nick Breeding, 8th. Sebastian Kuklon back in the top 10. And Dunn LaPrade rounds out the top 10 in the number 42 car. You could have seen that one coming. But here we go, restart, lap 44. Still going to need to pay at least one more time to make it to the end. Green flag. 11 gets a good start, but doesn't take advantage of it. He falls to 14 to the corner, but Ellison in the 93, he got a great launch in the 93 car. And he gets underneath the 51. Vargas trying to get himself back down there. He knows what can happen if he gets stuck up there, but Ellison just pounced on him, and he's going to try and see if he can get himself past the 51. I can't imagine Curtis Racing and Shea Binyaka Racing are too thrilled with each other at the moment, but despite that, this is where the advantage in the alliance is coming through, because now, thanks to Ellison, Vargas is now losing points to the 14. And Richard Johnson now sticks his nose in the mix here. Vargas is trapped on the outside, and this is the worst case scenario for him. As Corey continues to lead, the 11 follows behind. Nick Breeding now trying to make a pass on the 51 here. Vargas is in some trouble. Kuklon's now up here in the 69. He's now trying to see if he can get underneath the 51, and he does. It's like a short track right now. At this point, you got to get to the bottom lane as soon as you can. Kuklon here doesn't get the run he needs. I think he's going to let the 51 come in. And he does. Vargas slots in to 7th place here, but that was not what the 51 needed. He's going to have to work his way back up to the 14 again. Meanwhile, Kuklon's trying to hold off the 8 of Butcher. Butcher did get some very slight damage from the incident with his teammate and Jeff James, but it doesn't seem to be hurting his car too much as he continues to run in 9th place. Here's the 92 of Cody Goforth. So during the pit cycle, the 92 actually struggled to get out of the box here. And what happened was that knocked Goforth all the way down the order. He was in the top 10, and he's now been shuffled to 34th. So tough break for Goforth, coming off a best career finish at Auto Club a few weeks ago. So this 92 does have top 10 pace, but he's going to have to slowly, methodically work his way through this field. That's not going to be easy. Jeff James was involved in that caution, and you can see the damage on that 4 is affecting him pretty significantly, at least more significantly than it is the 0, which I'm sure the 4 is just absolutely thrilled about. So the tough break for Jeff James, and you can see the straightaway speed is bad. Poteet's killing him on the straights, but the car's still cornering pretty well. Bow for 3rd place here. James Ellison getting underneath the 62. This is to get on the podium. Bradley Bishop Jr. sticking behind the 14 for the moment. I think this 11 is faster than the 14, but I think Bradley Bishop Jr. is just taking his time here. Meanwhile, this battle is happening behind him. Ellison and GLM going at it here. Richard Johnson, Nick Breeding as well, now getting themselves involved here. And the 62 slowly kind of getting pushed to the outside. Trying to hold off the 10 here if he can squeeze back down to the bottom. And he does. So Richard Johnson, he's keeping his nose in there. He's not letting that 62 get away. We are 57 laps into this race, and how about this? Texan Motorsports. They've got 2 cars running in 11th and 12th here. LaPrade and Reed running up inside the top 15. This is one of the stronger runs this team has had in quite some time. As I mentioned before, this team will not be returning to the Hardee's National Series next season, so they're trying to close out the year with as much positivity as they can, and this race has been really good for them so far. It's been a very good return for Dunn LaPrade. Ryan Reed, he actually has been pretty solid these past couple races. So this 24 team definitely feels like they're starting to figure some things out here. But Texas Motorsports, they've got to be quite happy that they're keeping themselves in this here. But someone who's probably not happy is Christian Vargas. He's now being shuffled here as Kukulon gets underneath him in the number 69. Butcher's going to try and follow him. Man, it just does not seem... like the 51 was running for the lead at the start of the race here, but it kind of just seems like as this race has gone on, the 51's just kind of slowly lost the pace. I wonder if they may have made a bad adjustment on pit road, because this was a top 3 car, and now Vargas is just trying to keep it inside the top 10, so something must have happened in this 51 to have changed so suddenly. And that's going to be very frustrating for Vargas. Whatever happened, they're going to have to try and fix it here on the final stop, but for Vargas' championship aspirations, and while many people have basically crowned Corey the champion for several months now, this 51 has done an excellent job of keeping themselves in the mix with good runs, but this has been not one of those nights. I mean, a top 10 is a top 10, but when you're competing for a title, you need top 5s and top 3s and wins. And right now, Corey Williams, he doesn't, the win isn't confirmed for him yet here. He's got some, he's got company. That 11's all over him. But I think at worst, this 14 is a second place car. Chase Marks scored a great top 5 finish at California a few weeks ago, but seems that whatever they figured out for that race, it's not working out here in Milwaukee, as the 90 currently runs in 37th. Gotta be very disappointing for Marks to not be able to follow up what had been such a great weekend at Auto Club. He now finds himself in a tough position here. And Cam Lassard in the 84, he had a really good qualifying effort, but he just dropped to 35th, and it just doesn't seem to be getting much better here. Speaking of Spar Motorsports here, they've had a really rough past couple of weeks here, I gotta say. Brandon Beal currently the highest running car in 20th for Spartan. They were really bad at Auto Club. They completely missed something there, and they've missed something tonight as well. They didn't qualify most of the team didn't qualify very well, and you can see that Beal, he's trying to push his way through this field, so I think they're trying to fix these cars as the night goes on. But this has just been a really tough weekend for them. Battle for 11th here. Ryan Reed caught his teammate Dunn LaPrade here for the position, so Reed will move up into 11th place. Here comes Sheeran Rodriguez now looking to take advantage here and get past the 42. LaPrade's car looks like it is fading here. Dunn is struggling here as this run has gone on. So I think Dunn may have a short run car, excuse me, because it is not looking very pretty right now on the 42 side of things. They are getting hounded everywhere. But Reed moves up to 11th. Shear, despite the damage, running in 12th, but gotta be very disappointed that they're in this position right here. I think they have lost speed because of that incident. I think at this point they're just happy that it wasn't as bad as what happened to the 4. Here's Luis Hernandez in the number 3 for Nova Sport. And gotta say, a pretty solid night for Novasport at the moment, as they got both their cars running inside the top 25. Hernandez is currently on pace to beat the team's best finish of the year. I will say there has been some pretty solid runs from this team. We saw Ryan Griffin in this 3-car. He actually ran in the top 15 in this 3-car, so there is speed to be found here for Novasport. And for a first-year team, they've failed to qualify for several races. This is the first time in a while that both cars have qualified in for a race, though. But they're doing a pretty solid job here. It has been a very slow improvement for the team, but there is some improvement, which is the big thing here for when you're a first-year team running 2 cars and with a driver lineup that left many people kind of skeptic. But they're doing a really solid job here tonight. Daniel Voiles in the 65. Running up here in 19th, coming off his first career top 5 and top 10 at Auto Club. And at the moment, he's currently beating his teammate Doug Locker pretty handily right now, because he's a couple positions up the road on his teammates. So definitely some solid improvement for Voiles as well. And oh boy, we got a mess up here. Bishop Jr. now underneath the 42 of LaPrade. Joshua Michaels underneath the 72 of Van Verlinais. Joshua Michaels up here in the top 20. Trying to keep the 75 comfortably above the owner's point, top 30 owner's points cut line. He's doing a really good job here tonight, just keeping the car clean. Final pit stops of the night here have begun. Corey Williams from the lead comes to pit road. He's not going to let anyone undercut him, and he will give up the lead. But that, I think, was the smart decision for Corey. Come to pit road first. Don't let someone undercut you. This should keep him the lead, and with how great they've been on pit road, they should be able to retain the lead at the end of this pit cycle. Bradley Bishop Jr. falls in, and he hits the side of the pit road entrance. Ooh, that was a significant hit on the left side. That was a bit of a concern from the drivers in the drivers meeting. However, so far no one this weekend has actually managed to hit that divider, but Bradley Bishop Jr. just did. Well, that was not a good time to do that there. But we'll see what happens here. I mean, that didn't look like too bad of a hit, but we'll see what they do here. Oh yeah, they're fixing the left side. The 11 of Bradley Bishop Jr. here on pit road. They're fixing the left side here. This is going to cost the 11 stereo positions. You can see several cars behind are going past them, and the 11 is going to come out probably around the mid-pack. A massive mistake from Bradley Bishop Jr. hitting the inside wall has now cost them a chance at this win, and that's going to knock him from second, potentially down to 20th here. And he's having trouble getting the car going again. That 11 does not look good at all. That damage must have been pretty significant there as the rest of the field comes to pit road. Bradley Bishop Jr. has encountered trouble on pit road, and Corey Williams, who pitted first to prevent anyone from undercutting him, he is going to take the lead here, and he's going to have a pretty good one. Corey retakes the lead in the 14. His main competition, Bradley Bishop Jr., is now in the mid-pack. There's James Ellison. He drove into second place here. So the 93 of Ellison has moved up into second. 2.7 seconds behind. A massive twist here. And what looked like could be a victory for Bradley Bishop Jr. has now ended up in a perfect situation for this 14 team. Let's watch this again with the 11. Bishop just tries to cut and make up time on pit road, but I think he just misjudged the entrance here, and he just hit that divider on the left. That divider, that is what that opening is that is an entrance into an emergency entrance into the garage. And the 11, he just hit it, and Al just wasn't paying attention, and he was the only person that actually managed to hit it. And that will put the 11 of Bradley Bishop Jr. in 17th. After running in the top 3 all night long, he got the lead, lost it on pit road, and now once again, something on pit road has cost him. This time, well, the first one was his pit crew letting him down. This time it was his own mistake. What a frustrating moment for this 11 team. Nothing has gone right for them tonight. And now 11's going to have some work to do here. I'm not sure how good that 11 car is after that damage. But this is going to be a very disappointing night for that team. "20 laps to go here for Corey Williams in what has been a championship caliber drive tonight. They have not had a race-winning car tonight. They've had a top 5 car, but they have obviously not been the fastest. But they've kept themselves clean. They've taken advantage of others' mistakes. And they've put themselves in a position to score a win here. And what would be the 3rd win on the year for this 14 team. It's almost been a year of destiny for Corey. And while obviously there's still 2 races to go after this, and pending nothing goes wrong, Atlanta is going to be a very difficult task for Christian Vargas and others to make up a big enough gap on the 14 to have a chance at Charlotte for a title. James Ellison runs in 2nd place here. What a turnaround this has been for Ellison. This second half of the year, ever since that win at Talladega, this 93 has looked like a completely different unit. They won at Chicagoland. They've had great runs almost every week here in the intermediates. It's been such an incredible turnaround for this 93 team. Ellison is very, very slightly faster than the 14, but the rate he's catching him is not going to be enough to catch the 14. Griffin Latham McDermott, what a night it has been for him. He led the opening 35 laps. He's kept himself in the top 5 all night long on pure pace. He has looked absolutely incredible tonight, and while I'm sure Single Z Racing will be disappointed at being so close to another win, this has been a career day for Griffin Latham McDermott on the ovals. Richard Johnson up to 4th place here. He is currently the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment, and he is running quicker laps than the 14, but 6 seconds down the road with 15 to go. That is a lot to ask, and I don't think it's going to be really realistic. Sebastian Kukulon up inside the top 5. This team looking for that first top 10. They might get their first top 5 as well while they're at it, but Nick Breeding is coming, and they're going to have to try and hold them off as best they can. But this has been a nice, quiet night for Kukulon. They have looked great. Nick Breeding here in 6th place here, trying to follow up a win at California. Not going to be happening tonight, but still a good night regardless. Butcher in 7th place here. Got involved in that caution, but has kept his nose clean ever since, and he's looking at another top 10 finish. Jay Baskinger in the 97. Boy, if there was any proof that there is something up with these cars, it is this, with Baskinger running only in 8th place. I think a lot were expecting a bit more. Christian Vargas in 9th would look like a potential top 3 day, has now ended up with a 9th place run, and that is going to cost him a lot of points here. He is going to fall out more than a race behind the 14 as things run, and it's going to require perhaps a required win at Atlanta next week or in a couple of weeks to make a realistic title run here to close out the year. Flipside Motorsports rounds out the top 10 with Eric Rodriguez up in 10th, so a good top 10 day for Flipside Motorsports overall, but their championship aspirations have taken quite a hit tonight. Breeding and Butcher caught Kukulon, and they're going to go right by the 69. So Kukulon, top 5, not going to happen, most likely. But still, a very much needed day for KSRT. Joshua Michaels and Tim Fiegel. This is the owner's points bubble, 30th and 31st, as it stands. So Michaels right now, he is around, I believe, 26 points ahead of the 87. So Fiegel is just going to have to drive as hard as he can to try and at least get a point off of him tonight. And you can see the battle that's going on here. Bradley Bishop Jr. has now fallen to 18th. And he's trying to hold off Freeman Jr. Goforth, who has climbed his way back up into the top 20. But this is the battle on track here. This is for 21st between these 5. And Fiegel looking to get underneath the 75. Oh boy, 5-car pack here. They're all running nose to tail. The 72 and the 75 are trapped on the outside. 72, if he can try and get underneath the 65. No, he keeps his nose on the quarter panel, which I think was a mistake because here comes Hernandez in the 3. Hernandez now sticks his nose underneath to keep the 72 on the top. Corey Williams, he's losing some time because he's kind of just settled himself behind the lap cars here. I think they've probably told Corey, you can take it easy here. He doesn't want to force something on Ludwig Charette. Remember, Charette, this is only, I believe, his 2nd or 3rd career start, so Corey does not want to, I think, scare someone so inexperienced and maybe cause a problem here. So Corey's just taking it easy. Ellison's not really catching him very significantly here, as we're coming up on 5 laps to go. Richard Johnson has been battling the number 62 here for the past couple laps, but has not been able to really complete a pass yet. But he is a little bit faster than the 62. Butcher and Brini continue to battle here, which are trying to see if he can score a top 5 finish to get 2 of the Shade Mignacca racing cars inside the top 5. 2 laps to go for Corey Williams in the 14. It has been a almost perfect day for Corey Williams and Curtis Racing's championship hopes. They're going to extend the points lead and get a good gap on the owners' points as well. Everything that could have gone right for this 14 team has gone right, which has just been the story of this year. Coming to the white flag, Corey Williams. He will not lock up the title tonight, but it is going to put him in a very favorable position at Atlanta next week, or in 2 weeks. Corey's just chilling next to the lap cars. He makes a move on Pop Crass to put the 43 lap down. But Corey Williams in Curtis Racing, it has been almost a perfect year. Off at turn 4, Williams will win for the 3rd time this year and extend the championship lead. Ellison 2nd. Ellison 2nd. Griffin Lapo McDermott 3rd. We were checking for any last-second battles there. Griffin Lapo McDermott with a 3rd place finish. One of his best in his career. Another great day for Ellison. A little bit disorganized, I apologize. Richard Johnson, another top 5 finish. He comes across 4th. Ryan Butcher did pass the 9 of Breeding to take a top 5 off the defending series champions. So Butcher, a much needed top 5 finish. Kukulon comes across 7th for a top 10 for Kevshire Racing Tech, the top 10 they've been looking for all year long. It was only a matter of time, and what a drive for Kukulon. Basker comes across for 8th, excuse me, and Vargas and Rodriguez round out the top 10. And Christian Vargas, he is going to have a very, very strong weekend at Atlanta.